I don't miss any sound. Oh no, I don't miss it.
Can you hear me, everybody? Good enough. Right, well here we are. Over 60 people for the first time in years. And it's great to be speaking to a full house, because 3 weeks ago I was invited to speak to the Pessimist Society and the room was half empty.
Oh God.
But when I'm not speaking lately, I spoke to the Bledlow Ridge cross-dressing class on Monday, the Shuttlecock Club on Tuesday, and the South Bucks Cross-Dressing Society on Thursday. So I must apologise to Robert Armstrong-Jones, Dave Byrne and Sean Dryden if this is the 4th time you've heard me speak this week. I like to be inclusive, so ladies, it's great to have you here first time, but I want you to realise that tomorrow, the 16th, Saturday the 16th of October, is a very, very sad day in the life of cricketers. The middle Saturday in October is a tough day for cricketers. It's the last day that we can leave house on a Saturday morning saying that we're going off to play cricket. So, this is not going to be as long as one of Cheshire's innings, at least until he gets off the mark. And I shall not feel that the evening's been satisfactory unless all of you go home feeling just a little bit offended. We have to be careful though, because of course we're in that era now, careful what we say, and the cricket authority called the Marylebone Cricket Club has deemed we can't call batsmen anymore, we can't call batswomen, you have to be batters. So a batsman, wicketkeeper have we got any? Like Alex here, has to be known as a batter keeper, which makes him sound like a chef. It's more of a problem for people like Gillet with the word maiden. Gillet may not be able to bowl a maiden anymore. Indeed, nor may any of our bowlers. Of course, that's not been a problem for Raj, because he's never bowled a maiden. Well, Dakes has bowled a maiden over this year. He's finally managed it. First one for a few years. Well done, Helen. We didn't know he could still do it. Last time we had him in, he brought Matt Orford. And over in the far corner, Sheila's here with Ben Cooperman, but of course Cooperman is now Cooper Person. But while I'm bringing the ladies into it, I must just say that we do have one. The first award is the Most Romantic Cricketer of the Year award, and this is rather sweet because it goes to Ben Hillary. Because with a few days to go, he rang me and said, is there space to bring my friend called Demi? And he gave me food choices, and I said, yes, of course. And what's her last name, if you know it? And this was so romantic, so lovely. He messaged me back and he said, as a matter of fact, Rolfie, I have remembered the last name of this one. Yes, it's Turner. It's very difficult organising these things and keeping people's attention. Jovan asked to be on a table with somebody he likes. And I checked what table he was on last year, and he was sitting next to me. The Good Ventilation Award goes to our President, who asked for good air circulation, and luckily he's surrounded by so many of his fans, he's kept cool all night. Carrie made a big journey especially to be here. She gets the Discretion Award. She said she was happy to sit either with members of her family or with somebody interesting, and she's managed to do both. But we're very conscious here of our environmental responsibilities as well, and you may remember last year that I ran out of paper, I ran out of ink printing the names of Dominic Ackland-Snow and Nicola Ackland-Snow. And I want to congratulate, this is a very serious award, Anne Dow. This is what we want. We want no carbon footprint, 7 letters in the name, Anne Dow, very environmentally friendly. Visual gags are hard to do in a spread out, but there is room for improvement, because not everybody puts so much thought into the environmental implications of a dinner. So here we have one, Robert Owen Lloyd, Llewellyn, Armstrong, Hyphen, Jones, of Carnarvon. What a waste of ink and paper that is. So where was I? I don't usually get this far. You may realise, or remember that I usually talk about the menu and your choices. I'm not going to do that for long. The Most Improved Award goes for all of you for improving your ability to return your choices quickly. But there is a Novice Award to Duncan, who managed to order 9 meals without ordering one for Anne or ordering one for James. And several of you got the Not on the Menu Award. So Shorty ordered parfait, whatever that is, that wasn't on the menu. Senior Dakins ordered cheese as a first course. Christine ordered cheese and biscuits without cheese, as far as I could make out. Hollywood, after 3 years of trying, has finally given up trying to spell soup and got Fliss to spell terrain for him. Mike Stevens ordered something called terrain, which I think is something to do with land. Sean ordered terrapin. Hugo ordered horse meat, or I think it was a horse burger, so we know what happened to Sugar. And Carrie, for the 5th year in a row, you ordered sticky toffee pudding, or as you put it, stinky toffee pudding. We have a pedant of the award related to food, because you might remember, those of you who looked at the menu, that beside the word moose, I put a little asterisk. And this was like a joke, but a lot smaller. I put next to the asterisk, moose, by which I mean kind of a whipped cream thing, and not beef from a Canadian animal. And sure enough, you could have bet your life on it. Within about 2 minutes, I got this message from Gilles Stato Gilles, who said, well, actually, John, I just need to correct you that the real term for the meat of a Canadian moose is venison and not beef. It's hard to believe that he does our statistics each year. 4 ladies ordered curry, and plus Ollie White. I want to know what's going on there, Ollie. But we have to be careful, because apparently we can't use the word curry in the future. And that's the reason that we didn't have chili on the menu. Apparently it upset a few Eskimos and everybody from Newcastle, who used to be called Geordies. So we've got a few dinner debuts. We've had lots of good cricketers join from Speen and John Gardner this year. John has the second worst excuse for not bringing a partner. He simply didn't know where she was tonight. And to some extent, Taggart's stolen my thunder on this one, as Toby, we now know, does not have a fiancée. We think he belongs to the satanic cult.
Recording.
I don't think I quite said it. And this is actually what he said when I pushed him to try and get his partner to come. She'll be on a plane on her way back from a work trip in Ireland, although that is the sort of thing somebody would say if they'd made up a fake fiancé. So you said it.
They haven't met a time. Everyone's met a time.
Okay, so we don't want to trivialise this at all. Hudson, who not played cricket for 3 years, said he comes to the meal, are you doing a stand-up routine? Now, I don't want to trivialise it. It's not stand-up. These are very, very serious awards. We're not interested in Hollywood's wickets, Mintz's 150, any of Birdie's centuries, Chess's long batting, or Ben Keeping struggling to 101, or Toby topping the averages in his first year. We're interested in the serious stuff. So first of all, we'll talk about batting. A special award for the player who made the most runs in a season without hitting a 6. 446 runs, no sixes, goes to the one and only Chesh. Most delusional batsman Batsman Award, and you might need a little bit of background. This Mike Gillet, fine bowler, not possibly our best batsman. I think the cricketers will certainly understand this one, that he made one innings with 9 not out, which is quite extraordinary of him, and he scored 2 boundaries in one innings, and he was asked at next, how come you hit 2 boundaries? And he said, oh, the bowler just bowled in my slot. The Sheer Class and Style Award goes to Hamza, who's not here tonight. He hit his first ball for 6 at Great Brick Hill and stopped the game for 5 minutes when he went off to get a better bat. And just seriously, he's getting married in 10 days' time, so, you know, just thoughts for Hamza, and we're hoping, as a result of that, for more availability next year. The highest score, by just moving over here, the highest score of the season by a regular number 11 batsman goes to Shaky with 25. Well done. And now we come to bowling. Thank you, Shaky. I'll do the jokes, thank you, if you don't mind. Many years ago, Gillet took 2 wickets on his first ever 2 deliveries for the first team. But this year, as a result of the Junior Academy, George Cale, is it Cale or Kyle? I've no idea. He took Calais. I thought that's where you go. Okay. He took a wicket with his very first ball in senior cricket. So well done, George. And we do have a special male guest here over in the rabble in the corner, because many years ago he played 1 game of cricket for this club and he hit his very first ball for 4. Matt Pollard, everybody! I'm just going to carry on anyway. Okay, the award for his first 7-wicket haul ever goes to James Dow. And the award for his first ever 7-pint haul also goes to James Dow. If you're going to laugh at this conversation, funny with it here or not. Now, still on bowling, the biggest celebration of the year, and those of you with a sense of irony might get this one, was when Shorty bowled a maiden. April the 24th it was, at Princess Risborough. The best bowling by a bowler at the death was Taj. The best bowling by bowlers looking like death was Taggart, Fax or Duncan. The biggest con man of the year was Sam Rolfe bowling at all. The Mark Dakin Award for the most wides bowled in and over. Let's see if we can guess who that was. Yes, it was you, Simon. Just in case you're wondering. And we're back to Shorty, because Shorty was actually the unluckiest bowler of the year. Unluckiest bowler of the year. Do you know why? He had 7 catches dropped off his bowling in the season. 7 catches dropped off his bowling. 6 of them by spectators. And 2 of them were in the field. The biggest fib of the year, the biggest fibber of the year, was our statistician Gillet, who took 6 wickets at the end of the last match, and he has a calculator in his brain, and as he walked off we said, what were your figures today, Gillet? He said, haven't a clue. We all knew he knew exactly what they were. Now we're coming to the most outstanding bowling of the year award. It goes to somebody who we shall call the Ginger Slipper, captained by Winston, who bowled 1 over at Great Brick Hill. And I have to say, Mike, it could have gone worse, couldn't it? After the first 2 balls were 6, we didn't think it was going to. But that was a very special over. So, if any of you would like to be nerdy for a couple of minutes, I just want to draw your attention to the figures on the back. And I know it can be a look, you can glaze over a bit, but basically, we're backing the best figure in red. The biggest figure is the best, with bowling the lowest figure is low. So ignore Toby topping the first team averages in his first season. We don't really like that at all. And ignore the fact that apparently I should have put 3 stump picks for Alex in. God knows he took the bails off so many times in the season. That's 1 in every 500, I think. But what I want you to look at closely is the grey lines on the bottom right box, because beneath the grey, whoever did the statistics of the club, and I'm not sure he is, but he's a Scotsman, determines that people below the line don't really count because they haven't played enough, and the people at the top do. And the person at the top of the second team bowling seems to be one I Murdoch. So I'm coming to that, Dickers. So the Fiddling the Figures of the Year award goes to Taggart, because if you look at Alan Loxton, his bowling average was almost twice as good as Taggart, but you don't do the statistics for the club, Alan. And what was the determining factor? If you look in the first column, it was the number of overs that were bowled. And you bowled 28, and funnily enough, Taggart decided that 30 was the club. The only other point of interest, fairly typical, was that Sean made 49, which is just typical of a young student who doesn't have any money, wouldn't buy a beer for getting 50. So the fielding section, worst diving stop of the season, Duncan against Hitaroa. Making a difficult catch look easy, Jovan against Kane, brilliant, George against Oxford. Making an easy catch look difficult, Gillet at Brickhill and any one of Brooks's. The season's best catches also included facts, but any diving catch, and there were many by Alan, who in the opinion of Taggart, wins the award for leaving the most arse prints on outfields in southern England. Best substitute fielder of the year, Dickers! Let's call up against Tony. The most fluke becomes a run-out throw. The most fluky run-out of a member of the opposition was Sam Dog. Took a wicket-keeper to get a good run-out. The best run-out to win a match from 60 yards on the boundary. The mighty Sniff hit the stomach from 60 yards to be aggressive. And now we look at run-outs of our own team. The person who ran himself out most all through the season was me with 2. The most spectacular run-out of a teammate was a very close-run thing. Toby, I'm sorry to say you were a runner-up for stuffing Junaid by about 15 yards. The clear winner this year, I have to just walk over here, it happened at the very beginning of the season, was Hugo that ran Charlie out by 3.5 furlongs. Okay, we move to the more general section now, which is, this next award is the Lazy Bastard with Initiative Award, which goes to Sean Dryden. Partly for volunteering his mum to do teas, but secondly, there was an evening this year where he wanted to know what time the boot stopped serving food. So picture the scene, he's at home, probably lying on his bed with a beer, chewing some crisps or something, and he really can't be asked to work Google on his phone, so he just puts on what time does the boot close? Because he knows that within 30 seconds, Gillet is going to come back with the answer. I don't know whether you gathered, it wasn't made very clear that the second team captain's award was actually a tie between Jovan and Taj. So Sniff gets my sitting on the fence award. He also gets my Greatest Balls of Fire award for unsuccessfully trying to vault the electric fence at West Wickham Road. How we laughed. The award for the longest batting without a batting box goes to Mike Winson, well done the ginger slipper. And the Wallace and Gromit award for the wrong trousers goes jointly to Mike and to Toby, who each turned up to away matches without a pair of trousers. Some of you will know we used to have a very special category called the Happiest Scotsman of the Year award, but we could no longer award it once Doug McIndoe left the club because we didn't have any candidates. But there was an interesting moment where Taggart's son Stuart turned up to the club to collect him, got into conversation with Birdie, and Stuart made the comment that my dad is at his most happy when he's at the cricket club. To which Birdie said, what the hell is he like when he's at the cricket? I think a lot of you will get this one. The award for talking with the most irritating German accent goes to Birdie and Mike Wilson. We've had some movement on the wealth register here, in that Wellesley has moved up to first place as head of bed keeping on account of collecting £5 every time a player in the club drops a catch. He's now the richest man in the club. And we've got an award. I don't know who's going to win this one actually, it's on this card. And for those involved with selection, everybody will be familiar what this means. It's the "Does anybody know if Cooperman is available" award. And I thought we would just open it. Would you like to open it, Carrie, and see whose name it is? And who is it? It's Cooperman. Cooperman is the only person who ever knows whether Cooperman is available next week. And that's usually on a Friday afternoon. So, yes, I know. Tell his hair's falling out. Okay, the most stumpings given not out, quite rightly, was by umpire Graham. The most aggrieved looks after having stumping appeals turned down was Alex. The Ben Henry Award for missing the most matches in a season with cracked toenail polish was the Ginger Slipper. And Ben Henry gets the useless paramedic award. We played a game against Kimball and a guy really badly hurt his finger. He hid in the toilet for about 10 minutes, and then when we got him out, he goes up this bloke. We're just waiting for the really big moment. He said, "Oh, that's really bad. You need to go to hospital." The Bloody Cheek Award goes to Raj, who turned up late for a match at Westcott. We were 20 for 1. I was sitting around. He said, "Oh, I presume you've already batted them." The best classical student, to be fair, was Raj. He was the only person who knew what the word hetero, one of our opponents, means. It means friends. Sadly, that afternoon turned out to be a Greek tragedy for him when he made a second ball duck. The most classy travel to an away match at Texworth. Ben Keeping thought he'd win this when he turned up with his Tesla. But David Maunder went there via Uber, thanks to Smith not responding to his request for a lift, and he returned via an even classier transport called a Laura. This one's true. A player arrived this year at a match with his pads on. Any guess, anybody?
Cash.
Jeff Toon arrived at a match with his pads on at Texworth. There's a special award. Okay. The most annoying mentions of good areas goes to Brooksy and Raj. We're getting through this, guys. We're getting through this. I'm the best in my pay range, so just bear with me. They're on to the back page now. The most improved sledging. Sledging, if you're not sure, is a way of trying to intimidate opposition members verbally, leading to a mental breakdown. And we used to have a wicketkeeper that's all he did really. Alex, too nice, too polite, but he's improving. And these are the sort of comments he's now making to really upset the opposition batsmen. These are 3 of the finest examples. To one batsman he said, "Have you made any runs this year?" On another occasion he said, "That was nearly out." And he really got a blow with this one. He said, "Do you like gardening?" And in case you're wondering, they're all true. The cricketer that you all know well, you thought you knew well, but you don't, with the most unlikely nickname. One player in this room had a fierce reputation for soccer at university, and he was called Vinny after the famous Vinnie Jones. That's Paul Cheshire, everybody. Who would have thought?
What? Chopper check. No way. No. There's descent in the ranks.
Martin Harris Award. Yes.
Is that right?
The Martin Harris Award for these runs by this
Use the bloody microphone.
The slowest walk around a boundary to move a side screen went to Davis. The biggest complete mental collapse by a terrified batsman was when the ginger sliver, aged 40-year-old Amy. We lost him, shaking. Right, okay. I don't know. I'll keep shouting. Right, but this is important. Mitzi, are you listening in there?
And let's repair.
What shame, the battery. What shame.
Turned it off the mains. Just 10 minutes is up. Cut it. 10
Very early mention. I think I might be in the clear though.
Actually quite enjoyed it. That you thought we'd get away with it. And then you were called up
So she literally watched me write that. She literally watched me write that email to him as well.
Dave Burton said, and your body is such a temple too, Dickers. And then for some reason we followed the most romantic offer all season was by Dickers to fact. When you said, would you like me to suck your nipple? You did. You did.
No context. No, give context. No context.
Don't worry, let's have a joke that Bernie told us I'm inappropriate. If he says it's inappropriate, it was. The worst karaoke of the year, Facts and Dickers, are still at the top of that list. The best karaoke debut was by Jonesy over here. The funniest man at the club award, Shaky and Bernie have been knocked off second place because after Duncan's speech at the juniors presentation, he moves up to second place. Of course, the ranking is still unchanged at the top. I thought I would end with two examples of the sort of rubbish that is written on WhatsApp during the season. On this occasion, just after the season, we tried to recruit players to come and help change the dressing room. One day I'm going to write a book called The Book of Excuses, because I've seen a lot. So we started with Facts saying, I'm sorry I'm running the tournament. I thought that's good, that's quite original. Mitzi goes, unfortunately, I'm in Devon. Shorty says, I'm just unfortunate. The Ginger Slipper said, now this is a real improvement. He had a long think about the adverb and about the location. He said, sadly, I'm in France until Sunday. And Alex was trying to come on an excuse, but he panicked. He needed to start with saying regrettably or desperately sorry. I'm in Tanzania, but the best he could do was, I'm also in Devon. We knew he wasn't. Alright, so I'm going to finish then. I'm cutting it out. I'm going to finish with the best scrap of the season. Because after Gilles won that category by saying, I've got to take home the rugby tops in Marlow as if, Raj said, I'll help. I'll help. Unbelievable. And then after a day, there's no more volunteers, and Raj says, oh, how ironic. The only volunteer so far is an entitled Etonian. No more reaction. Later on, he says, struggling to believe it's only me and Vicky and Robbie, and then he decides to pick on his friend. Sean Dryden, it's always the same people volunteering. What's your excuse? That is 10 Friday night, and you don't mess with Sean Dryden. And he said there are 50 other people in this group left. Ask them because I'm busy. Nice of you to brag about volunteering. I'm so proud of you. What makes the club great and makes it tick? I'll miss that if we can all get forward. But we'll come back tomorrow and do the rest of it.
It's the first
first time he's ever helped out ever with the club. The first time, right? To be honest, it really pissed me off. He out to be in the group chat saying, he's like, Sean Dry, what are you doing on a Friday evening?
It's 6. It's already 6 on a Friday night, mate. I've got plans by now. And the thing I really like, continuing the recording, is that in previous years we've ran out of storage space, we've run out of battery on the phone, we sorted those problems, and the microphone runs out. This is what happens when you leave our parents' generation on the tech, basically. Bless him, mate, bless him.